Hello, welcome to Premium Design. Kindly subscribe to the channel and then turn on the notification bell to receive notifications each time I post a video. And then we have a schedule for our posts. We have graphic design and then textile design. So graphic design is going to be posted on Fridays, that's 5 p.m. GMT time. And then textile designs on Sundays, 11 a.m. GMT time. And then again, subscribe if you're a new um, viewer here. All right, so today we are doing Photoshop. Then we are learning Photoshop tools. All right, so let's get started. This is the default screen of Photoshop when you download it for the first time. You have a very dark background with a working space here. All right, so this working space can be edited and then changed to whatever you want to change it to, depending on what work you are doing. And then first off, Photoshop is a universal software. It can be used for graphic designing, textile designing, photo editing, video, animation, and other stuffs. Alright, so Photoshop is a universal software, so anyone can use Photoshop, meaning the tools or the elements here in the workshop aren't necessarily important for you if you are doing it's what I mean is, if you are doing a graphic design work, it doesn't mean you need some tools here. Some are needed, some are not, so you have to arrange what you want at this space, which is called the workspace. Okay, so we'll do the arrangement of the working space and then customization of your worksheet or your canvas in our next video. And then we learn something small about RGB and then channels too in our next video, and something small about RGB and then channels, which is layers and then channels. So when you're working in RGB, probably you'll be working in layers, and then when you're working in grayscale or multi-channel, you'll be working with channels. All right, so when you're working in RGB, you'll be having your red, green, blue channels here, which of course the layers are what you worked in. So graphic designers mostly use the layers, while the textile designers mostly use the channels. And for the part is used with the channels. Some also use it with the layers, depending on what you want to achieve. As I said earlier, Photoshop can be used for cartooning and other stuff. So all the tools here are not what you need. Some you need for what you want to do. All right, so let's hit the road. So with Photoshop, it gives you a pop-up menu which explains what the tool is used for. So we have our move tool first, and then we have our our rectangular marquee tool. We have our polygonal lasso tool. We have the magic wand tool. We have our crop tool here, and then a frame tool. Okay, then eyedropper tool. All right, we have the spot healing tool. We have the brush tool. We have the clone stamp tool. We have the history brush tool, and then we have the eraser tool as well. We have the gradient tool, the blur tool, and then we have the dodge tool. We have the pen tool, which um we'll be using intensively. We have the text tool. We're using the text tool for graphic design and then textile design. We have our direct selection tool here, and then ellipse tool, which of course it's the shape tool. It has shapes in it. We have the hand tool. It pans over different parts of an image. Okay, so we have our zoom tool as well. So each of the tools here has an extra tool embedded in it. So with the tools with a triangle at the down right corner here shows that the tool has embedded tools in it. So you right click and then you see the tools in it. So when you right click on the move tool, you see a move tool and then an artboard tool. When you right click on the rectangular marquee tool, you see other tools as well. All right, so today we are just learning the Photoshop tools and how to use them. All right, so let's get started. We are starting with our shape tool. So let's say we want to draw a shape. We click on the shape tool, we click and drag, okay. So for circles, if you want a perfect circle, if you want your circle to be very perfect, you have to hold shift and then you click, you drag, it gives you a perfect circle. But if you just click and drag, you create the circle yourself, and then with the width and the height and display on the screen, you can make it perfect. So when you leave it here, you come here, the width is 169 and then the height is 174. So you can adjust the height with the same width, and then it gives you a perfect circle. But if you don't want to do that, you can just hold shift and then you click to drag. All right, so our shape here has a stroke around it. If you want to remove the stroke, you just click on this to remove the stroke, and then if you want to change the color, you click on the fill, then you change the color. All right, so we've changed the colors of our circles here. We can as well change the shape to a rectangle too. So we click to drag and then it creates a rectangle. So we click to remove this stroke, or we can just apply the stroke but very thin to, let's say, 2.51, and then we change the color to, let's say, a violet here, purple. Right, so with this you can't see the stroke, so let me change the color to, let's say, red, and then increase the stroke a bit. Okay, so now you can see the stroke with the stroke around the rectangle is very light compared to the stroke around the circle. So you can change the strokes too if you want. Okay, so with the move tool, we are starting with the move tool now, and then we can move our shapes here because we have selected the move tool, so we move the shapes here. Right, so when you put your cursor on it, it gives you a short video or a short tutorial on what the tool is used for. So you can see the tortoise is being moved with the move tool, same way we are moving our rectangle with the move tool. All right, and then we have the rectangular marquee tool, which is used for selection. Okay, so it makes a selection in the shape of a rectangle. So let's say we want to select something here, we select this, it being selected. With the move tool we can move it around. With the move tool we can move it around. Then we have the lasso tool, we have our polygonal lasso tool, and then magnetic lasso tool, which we will use them for selection as well. Then we have our magic wand tool, which is also used for selection. We have object selection tool and then the quick selection tool, which are all used for selection, but we can't select the shape we have here because the shapes are not rasterized, so we cannot select them. So let's learn how to do rasterization. Just click on the shape, right click on the shape, and then you go to rasterize layer, click on it, and then you can now edit the shape. So let's say we take our polygonal lasso tool, we can select part of the rectangle. Okay, so we have polygonal lasso 2, we have magic wand 2, which we use for selection. And then we can't select because we don't have we've not rasterized the shapes. Right, so to rasterize the shape, you click on the shape to select it, and then you right click, then you go to rasterize layer, you go to rasterize layer. So the shape has now been rasterized and can be edited. Okay, so let's take the we took the ellipse marquee tool, we selected the circle that we rasterized, and then we cleared. So you select and then you click delete or backspace, and then it deletes. So to deselect what you've done, you click Control D to deselect. If you want to undo what you've done, you can click Control Z, or you go to edit and then you go to undo, or yes, you go to undo. Want to undo what you've done, you go to edit and then you go to undo. Right, so we have eyedropper too, which can be used to pick colors. Then when you pick the colors, you see the foreground color here changes, so you can add those colors to whatever shape you have here. So let's pick this color, it's copied on our foreground color. We have the foreground color, we have our background color to be white. So when we go to this circle here, we can just paste what we have on our foreground color. We click on it and then it changes the color here. Right, so we have our brush tool, which will be used. So this is what the brush tool can be used for, but not on the shapes, since the shapes are not rasterized. But shapes that are rasterized can be used, you can use the brush tool on them. So on the background, you can use the brush tool on the background, which has been logged here. And then we have pen tool. So we have a freeform pen tool, curvature pen tool, and other pen tools, but we are using the pen tool together with the direct selection tool. So let's say I draw a shape with my pen tool, and then I want to change the shape, part of the shape or the strokes around the shape. I'll just click on the shape here, and then I go to the stroke, change the color of my stroke. Let me move it here. So change the color of my stroke, and then reduce the stroke. I can decide to remove the stroke or bring the stroke, and then change the fill inside the stroke. So if I don't want this shape as it is, I want to modify the shape, I'll go to my direct selection tool, and then I pick it. I right click on wherever I want to bring an anchor point, and then first you need to select the layer before you use the tool on it. So I right click and then I add anchor point. So with my anchor point, I can edit or modify the shape to whatever I want. All right, we have the text tool here, which of course we'll be using for text. So we have the horizontal text tool, and then we have the vertical text tool. Pick our horizontal text tool, we click, and then depending on what you want, you can change your font size. So premium, you are not seeing it because we have text to be in white. So we can select all the text by clicking and dragging across the text, and then we change the color for our font. So we've changed the color, then we then move to reposition it very well. So position it, let's say here. Okay, so this shape here looks like a slice of watermelon. So let's try to add something to it. So with eraser tool here, we select the shape, and then with the eraser tool, let's use a brush tool. Okay, let's rasterize the shape. So we right click on the shape and then we rasterize it. Then we pick the eraser tool here. We reduce the size, and then let's clear. So you just click to create or to clean parts of your shape. Then that is the use of the eraser tool. So we have our hand tool here. You can use the hand tool to, that's what it palms over different parts of an image, just like what I'm doing. And then the hand tool to, yes, you can use it to view certain part of your design if you've zoomed in very well. Let's say if I've zoomed in like this and then I'm working with different shapes, I want to see the other shape, I can use the hand tool to go through like this. And then we have under the shape tool, we have our custom shapes here. So with the custom shapes, we have an already existing shapes here. We have wild animals and then other shapes. If you want to use any, you can just click them, select, and then you come to your canvas, you click and drag to create what is selected. Then you can change the stroke and give it a color. Okay. This is our zoom tool. We use it to zoom in our work, and then we can right click to zoom out. Right click and then you go to zoom out. So not all the tools here will be used for graphic designing, as in flyer making, and then others. Some will be used for picture making, cartooning, and others. But not all the tools here will be used for graphic designing as well as textile design. So we are done with the tools here. In our next video, we'll learn how to arrange or create a new workspace, how to change our preference, or how to change the color of the default Photoshop black. And then we'll learn how to save works too. Alright, if you like this video, kindly give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. Have a good day.